and thank you for joining us on another edition of Carl Nespoli is Dropping Names podcast, where some names you may recognize, others you may not. I am excited to speak to my next guest, who chances are you probably have not heard of her name, but may have seen some of her work, or will probably see some of her work in the future. She is a stunt woman and an actress. And I also think she's a little bit of an inspiration. But before we get to her, check out some of her work. So without further ado or further interruption, please welcome my next guest, Penelope Talleur. There she is. So before we speak to her, I will say this. We have a kind of like a social media Facebook page where stunt people, new people coming in, they'll just put their headshot or maybe their action reel on the Facebook page, and that's a way to introduce themselves. Well, Miss Penelope, yours happened to hit or get a lot of attention. And we're going to speak about it for, many reasons. But welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Let me get that mic just a little bit closer to you. Yep.
There we go. How's that?
You're good. So let's start, like I always like to start, from the beginning. Why the heck did you agree to do this podcast? I asked that to everybody. No. We certainly appreciate that. And so.
Why? I think it's a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be wonderful to be here, talk with you, and I'm looking forward to what comes out of it.
Great. So, like I said, this is to educate and hopefully, motivate others. And every one of us has a story. So we want to hear yours, and we're going to start from the, beginning, childhood. What influenced you to say, I want to be a stunt woman and an actress?
Well, the interesting thing about that, actually, is when I was a child, that's not the route I knew. When I was growing up and you were in school, you had like school plays and things, and if I remember saying that I do want to be an actor, and what happened was the teacher said, "That's nice," but make sure you look for other things, or
Right.
and I did some school plays and things, but the stunts came later, much after college.
Great. So let's, pause right there and just ask you, what made you decide to do stunts, to be a physical performer?
I would say I grew up on action, and it was finding other folks that trained in it as well, and just different people. And once I tried it, I was hooked. I had done martial arts since I was young.
Yeah.
And found out that was a great tie to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out well. I had trained in different martial arts, starting karate. I had dabbled in a few other things, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I had done some, I took some, one or two seminars on Aikido, and just grew up trying those different things. And when I started training with stunt folks, I was like, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it helped me, it just became something I love, honestly. That's the best way I can put it. I just really, no pun intended, fell in love with it.
Great, great. And I like that also. Now, there's this preconceived notion on the outside that, stunt people have a certain look and all. You shatter that. You break that rule, which is inspiring to many others that maybe possibly listen to this, and I hope so. You're kind of a role model in that respect, because Hollywood has got this physical expectation. What were the challenges that you may have faced or are facing? Part one. And then, do you feel a little bit of let's just come out with it, discrimination? So the first part.
Well, yes, you're right. It's been a long thing in Hollywood to have a certain look, a certain what they say and deem to be attractive, and yes, that is. But also, we've seen breaks with a lot of different actresses of size. I looked up to many of them. I mean, some of them are men, some of them are women. I mean, John Candy, he was a laughable, lovable guy. He, maybe not anywhere near Tom Cruise, but
Right.
that kind of person. Melissa McCartney, Rebel Wilson, those, but yes, I would say it was a challenge in ways, but I took those in thought about how they have made a career, and I did a little looking into stunts, and I was like, oh, they may not ever have people that actually got to double them. Why don't I try? Has it been prejudice? Yes, sometimes.
Sure.
Yes, I've had people that have politely, never outright had said about the mention of my body type, but they may have said something like, "Are you sure?"
Right.
Or that's great, but maybe you want to think that over.
Mm-hmm.
It was more kind of like, subtle, which is
Right.
okay. And when that happened, I honestly said, okay, that's all right. I know I know what I can do. I discovered over this what I physically can do, and that became the inspiration to myself. Not just from me, but also how will it look to be part of that body diversity on screen.
Awesome. Great. I got to tell you, once that reel hit the Facebook page, a lot of people fell in love with you. I mean, you've got some fans, The Rock's double, Tanawai, a lot of stunt, coordinators, everybody's pulling for you. You're a lovable person. Whenever there's a golf outing or anything, you're always out there. You're always smiling. You have a great attitude. So that's why, even if anybody wanted to get, rid of you, you'll have 100 people going, she ain't going anywhere, So that's, that's your good thing. I had a stunt legend, the legend, tell me I was too old to get into the business. Broke my heart. And I spoke about that when I was speaking to Brad Martin. And I don't want to mention his name, Hal Needham. But the point is this. You let your haters and your doubters be your motivators. And that's what you've been doing. And so we are definitely proud of you. You're our stunt sister. Certain guys, I may be old enough to be your stunt father, but you know what I'm saying. Everybody's got your back, and we definitely, influenced you. So you spoke about, John, Candy, Melissa, all those. Who else influenced you, at a young age, or maybe now? Famous, non-famous?
Well, you were talking a minute ago about how a lot of people are in our corner. There were some wonderful people who ended up discovering what I did, and that from reaching out and communicating. I would say that in many ways, Tanawai is one of the people that inspires me. When I discovered his work and how I started talking to him, and he gave me a chance, and I appreciate him very much for that. He's a great guy.
He is. I mean, total, stud. I mean,
yes, he's a total stud.
Yeah. He's a great guy. We all love him. Yeah, I mean, so you have definitely, look, right now, Hollywood is at a standstill.
Right.
No one's working. Even the top, stunt people are just, from COVID, the writer's strike, IATSE, what's going on with AI, and just this has definitely been difficult. Are you picking up other work, to like supplement? We have bills, we have car payments, we have, rent, cell phone. How are you managing?
I'm doing my best. I do gig work, and that's the best I can do. I do things like security jobs and working events, and just trying to keep myself going as best as possible. Is it always great? No, it's it can be challenging, but I keep my head up.
Oh, great. Back to your reel again. You're pretty physical. You've done everything from fights and falls to even fire burns.
Yes.
What scares you? What's your fears?
I actually used to have a fear of heights, and if I tried to do something very high, which I still would want to do with the right training, that would be a little challenging.
Sure.
I would say more of the fears come out from getting some of the character impressions too. Even though it works for me a lot of times, it's like the physical stuff is a lot more comfortable. If someone, I may never do something like this, but if someone ever gave me a chance to go do something like go spend a day in helicopters and they would make it work for me, I'd be like, let's go do it. So it's funny to not be afraid by those physical things, but
sure.
It's more of the technical things that I would say can be a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Remembering some kind of cue, or remembering.
Right.
I've had the joy of being able to learn organically on set.
Yeah.
And that's been wonderful because I never had the type of money to go to a film school or go to take theater lessons. I mainly met people and said, "Oh, you train in that? Can you show me a little bit of that?
Right.
Can you teach me some of it?"
Well, that may be something also. A lot of stunt people, resort. Some of the bigger names, right now during slow time, they offer different courses. Tommy Turvey opens up his ranch to horse riding training. Charlie Parrish did the same thing. David Morizo, who we all love.
Yes.
He opens up it, whether he is working, not working. He doesn't charge. He's God, nobody has a perfect reputation, but David does. I mean, he's such a great guy. Love that guy.
I would agree. He's wonderful.
So, you might be able to do that. I do. Up until recently, I used to do the career speaking, different schools, locally also. I couldn't make it this year. Jordan Scott, who doubles Zac Efron, is going to step in for me. You would be perfect for that. I think even on TED Talks, something like that eventually, once you start building up your resume, it's inspiring because when the average person or Hollywood thinks of stunt people, they can do it all, physicality, and they have to look a certain way, but you kind of shatter that image. And that was, once again, my, purpose for, bringing you in. And I can't tell you how much that I appreciate this. We all have this vision of a dream stunt that we want to do, something that we may not get a chance. More than likely, a stunt coordinator or your director doesn't see the same vision. What is that for you?
Well, dream stunt would be working with Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
Yes, The Rock. I've had the opportunity to meet him. I want to go through a wall.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
On fire, perhaps?
I think that would also be hot and awesome.
Okay.
So maybe that could happen and formulate in some way, but I think it would have to be slapstick. That would make it great.
Cool.
It's always, we love so many things about The Rock. It's the comedy,
Uh-huh.
So that's got to be a slapstick one. It'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
You and I have a little bit differences on who was the best Spider-Man. And I know that you happen to work on the Spider-Man Homecoming, with Tom Holland, who is also a great actor. But I think Toby is better. Tell me about that.
That came out from, Tanawai introduced me to George Cottle.
Tanawai Reed.
Yeah, Tanawai Reed. He introduced me to George Cottle. Had me on a set, and then I think when this happened in my that started off my career, it was really cool to me. I get this call a little while later. Yeah. I'm working in a warehouse, and George calls me up, and he's like, "Hey, I got this job for you. We're going to get you tafted," and it was thrilling to me. I was like, "Wow, that gave me inspiration." It was being a citizen saved on Spider-Man. Thinking back to years ago when Tom Holland joined the scene as Spider-Man, I remember talking with people in a parking lot. I was at a film seminar thing, and we were talking about he's a cool Spider-Man. I like our other Spider-Mans and everything, but he's really cool. And then to think years later, I'm on Spider-Man No Way Home working with him. He was such a wonderful gentleman, very goofy too. He made a lot of jokes while we worked.
Wow.
Lots of jokes. I was supposed to hold a
So
baby.
he spoke to you.
We swung in the air and held each other.
Nice.
I'll try to, yes, but so I was like the citizen being saved and stuff, and he's making jokes, and then I remember, remind me again, the director, I do know it in my head, but John.
Oh God, I'm at a standstill.
What? No. Anyway,
we'll have to look that up. Go ahead.
I do know it, but
yes.
They're both telling me to really squeeze him hard while we're on this wire and everything. And they're like, Penelope, hold him harder. And I'm like, he's so lean and everything.
Yeah. So all of your friends are jealous. Basically, you got to squeeze Mr. Tom Holland.
Yeah, he was he was a gem though. He was very nice. I mean, what a way to start off a career. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
I know that I know there's so many people have had to put in endless time, and I was blessed to be able to do something like that, and it really gave me a kick. So
Yeah.
That's why that's why I want to say to folks, don't let anything that seems to discourage you completely discourage you.
Yeah.
I learned that through this journey, and I'm going to keep on learning it. I feel like you learn it over and over again.
Yeah.
And when you gotta let the things that seem like a no, only encourage you to find the yes.
Right. Right.
And that's what Spider-Man No Way Home did for me. So that's what I want to leave people with is maybe if you're someone brand new that hasn't got tafted yet, don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep showing up is what my mentors told me.
Yeah.
That's what I did. Show up to events, show up and be at places.
Yeah, from the warehouse to Marvel Studios in the arms of Spider-Man. I mean, wow.
You never know where you're going to end up, and I sure didn't know that would be the case. But when I had decided that I want to do stunts, I was like, no matter what, for better or for worse,
yeah,
I want to make it happen and make each and everything good out of it. And that's what I leave with folks is just keep showing up. It will manifest somehow.
Awesome.
It sure did for me.
I usually wrap it up, but you said it so eloquently. So, again, thank you so much. I mean, this is really, really inspirational. I feel inspired, and I hopefully somebody that is watching also feels or gets inspired and believes maybe one time where they're working could land them on whatever, a movie set, a stage, or whatever they fantasize or, hope to work in, not just, stunts and acting. So appreciate that. And once again, thank you for whoever was tuning in to Coroner Spoli is Dropping Names. If you like what you just heard or saw, please hit that like button and subscribe. Also, please leave a comment. Good, bad, or ugly. It all helps. And I read them all. Not that there's, a lot of them, but seriously, it really helps to build my channel. And my purpose is to get people like, Penelope and Brad Martin and Iyad Elbatar. Just, people who came from nowhere and, built up a successful acting, stunt double, whatever career. So definitely appreciate it. So as of now and until next time, this is Coroner Spoli saying thank you once again. Take care.